Can a documentary be so real, so deeply disturbing, that it gets banned from ever being shown again? Some documentaries don't just push boundaries, they smash right through them. These films expose brutal truths, raw footage, and real-life horrors that most people weren't ready to face. And because of that, they got pulled from screens, silenced, and in some cases almost erased from history. These are the most disturbing documentaries that were banned for being too intense, ranked from unsettling to absolutely unwatchable. Number 1. Mondo Cane, the original shockumentary, released in 1962. Mondo Cane, which literally translates to Dog World, is considered the world's first shockumentary, and that wasn't exactly a compliment. The Italian filmmakers behind it claimed they were creating a cultural documentary about traditions around the world. But what hit theaters was something far darker. The title Dog World wasn't about animals, it was about people acting like animals. A dog-eat-dog dog world captured on film. What audiences saw was 108 minutes of disturbing rituals, violent practices, and grotesque footage. Scenes meant to horrify rather than educate. Some of the most shocking moments included women being force-fed until they weighed over 264 pounds, then offered as wives to a village dictator, a funeral ritual where villagers burned money so the deceased could take it with them, and people walking in religious parades while holding live snakes. Graphic scenes of animal cruelty. Right from the start, the film warned viewers, all the scenes you will see in this film are true. If they are shocking, it's only because there are many shocking things in this world. And it wasn't subtle. This was exploitation. Raw, disturbing, and unapologetic. Critics slammed the film, calling it gross, uncivilized, and possibly staged. Some even accused the filmmakers of exploiting the people they filmed just for shock value. In the UK, it was banned outright because of its treatment of animals. To this day, more than 60 years later, Mondo Cane is still banned in some parts of the world and remains a legendary example of just how far a documentary can go. Number 2. Titicut Follies, banned in the US for decades. In 1966, lawyer-turned-filmmaker Frederick Wiseman decided to make his first documentary and chose to film inside Bridgewater State Hospital for the criminally insane in Massachusetts. He was given rare permission to film as long as hospital staff were present during filming. What he captured over 29 days was raw, disturbing, and unfiltered. Bridgewater wasn't a hospital, it was a prison masquerading as one. The patients, many of them convicted criminals with mental illnesses, were neglected, bullied, and humiliated by the staff. One haunting scene shows an inmate being force-fed while a guard mocks him. Wiseman and his team filmed it all: patient-staff interviews, daily routines, room cleanings. Without narration or commentary, it was all presented as is with no buffer. When Wiseman tried to premiere Titicut Follies at the 1967 New York Film Festival, the Massachusetts government stepped in fast. The documentary showed their facility in a horrifying light, and they knew it could trigger lawsuits from the families of those patients. They sued Wiseman, claiming the film violated patients' privacy and broke an oral agreement about what could be shown. Wiseman won one round in New York, but Massachusetts shut it down. In 1968, a judge ordered all copies pulled from theaters and destroyed. It was the first time a film in the US was banned, not for obscenity or national security, but for showing something too real. Only in 1991, over 2 decades later, was the ban lifted. But even then, it came with a condition. The film had to include a statement explaining that Bridgewater had since been reformed. Number 3. The War Game, so real it was censored by the BBC. Made in 1965 by Peter Watkins. The War Game wasn't just a documentary, it was a warning. Commissioned by the BBC, the film imagined what would happen if a nuclear bomb hit the UK, and Watkins didn't hold back. With haunting realism, he showed people looting shops, entire cities destroyed, food running out, police turning violent, civilians in shock and suffering from radiation sickness. Watkins consulted scientists, used over 350 actors, and built scenes with precision to make it feel terrifyingly real, but when he turned it in, the BBC refused to air it. Officially, they said it was too disturbing and might cause panic. But declassified government documents later revealed the real reason. British officials were furious. The documentary made the government look powerless, unable to protect its people. Even the Prime Minister heard about it, and wasn't happy. So, the BBC shelved it. For 20 years, the film couldn't be shown on British television. It became an underground legend, passed around film festivals, whispered about, and never forgotten. It wasn't until 1985 that the BBC finally aired it, 2 decades after commissioning it. Number 4. The Cove, exposing a dolphin slaughter. In 2009, the Cove shocked the world by exposing a hidden brutal dolphin hunt in Taiji, Japan. Every year, fishermen corral dolphins into a secret cove. The lucky ones are sold to marine parks. The rest are killed for meat, a process that's not only cruel, but contaminates the meat with high levels of mercury. Activist Rick O'Barry, who once trained dolphins for the TV show Flipper, led a covert operation to expose it. He and his team snuck into Taiji disguised as tourists and used hidden cameras disguised as rocks, underwater mics, and night vision gear to capture the hunt. What they recorded was horrifying. The film also revealed how the Japanese government and local police worked to hide the practice. Protesters were silenced, and the area was guarded by armed fishermen. O'Barry was even told that if the world found out, they'd be shut down for good. After the documentary was released, it faced backlash in Japan. It was unofficially banned. Screenings were cancelled due to protests. Politicians threatened theaters, and lawsuits were filed. Still, the film won awards worldwide, and while the dolphin hunt sadly continues, the Cove forced a dark tradition into the global spotlight. Number 5. The Red Chapel. North Korea didn't see this coming. The Red Chapel feels less like a documentary and more like a spy mission. In 2009, a Danish crew pretended to be a comedy troupe joining a cultural exchange program in North Korea. Their real mission? To secretly film life under dictatorship and expose the regime. North Korea, of course, kept a close eye on them. A government handler followed them everywhere. They had to actually perform a comedy act, all while secretly filming the strict propaganda-filled environment around them. It was risky. If caught, they could have faced prison or worse. Even more troubling, they realized their actions could put everyday North Koreans in danger just for speaking to them on camera. The filmmakers left the country and turned the footage into a documentary that mocked the regime. North Korea banned it immediately and called the director a night animal. But globally, it was praised for its bravery and insight. Number 6. The act of seeing with one's own eyes. Real autopsies, no filters. This 1971 film by Stan Brakhage isn't just disturbing, it's brutally raw. Brakhage, an experimental filmmaker, convinced a morgue in Pittsburgh to let him film real autopsies. He agreed not to show faces, but that was the only filter. There's no narration, no music, no explanation, just graphic footage of the human body being opened up and examined. Because of how explicit and unsettling it was, the film was banned from public theaters. It was only screened at private events and film festivals. Brakhage said the goal was to confront the truth of mortality, but most audiences couldn't stomach it. Even today, the act of seeing with one's own eyes is considered one of the most graphic documentaries ever made. 7. Cannibal Holocaust, the fake documentary that got the director arrested. Imagine making a movie so realistic that people thought it was an actual snuff film. That's what happened with Cannibal Holocaust. Released in 1980, the movie claimed to be a real documentary about a crew who disappeared in the Amazon while filming a cannibal tribe. Months later, their footage was found and edited into a film. The scenes were so realistic, brutal killings, animal cruelty, and violent rituals, that Italian police arrested director Ruggero Deodato and charged him with murder. They thought the actors had actually died on camera. Turns out, it was all fake. The actors had signed contracts agreeing to disappear from public life to sell the illusion. Eventually, Deodato had to bring the cast to court to prove they were alive. Even then, Cannibal Holocaust was banned in over 50 countries. Viewers couldn't handle how realistic the violence looked, even after learning it was staged. Number 8. Earthlings, the documentary that made people go vegan. Earthlings pulled back the curtain on how animals are used for food, clothing, and research, and people weren't ready for what they saw. Using hidden cameras, director Sean Monson captured graphic footage from factory farms, labs, and circuses. It wasn't dramatized, just raw, brutal reality. Animals suffering under human control. Because of the footage's intensity, many theaters and streaming services banned it, but online it gained a massive following. Today, it's known as one of the most powerful documentaries about animal rights, and a major reason many people choose to go vegan. Some documentaries aren't just hard to watch, they're impossible to forget. They force us to confront the darkest parts of humanity, even when we'd rather look away. But sometimes, that's exactly what makes them necessary. Disturbing? Yeah, but also honest. What do you think? Comment below. If you found this video interesting, make sure you hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of these kinds of videos. Thanks for watching.